There are a number of ways to make a new experiment. The easiest way is to click this icon up here. And you hover over it, hopefully it'll say new experiment, but if we click on that, you'll see there's a blank experiment with sample tube comes up. If you make a blank experiment this way, you need to go in and change some of the parameters. First thing you'll need to do is select forward scatter and side scatter height, and then you can start to delete whichever channels you're not using. So if you hold down shift or control and click on the buttons beside it, you can highlight multiple ones and then just delete. So that's one way to create a new experiment. If you want to virtually replicate a previous experiment, you can just open a previous experiment. If you click on the cytometer settings and then right click on it, you can say copy and then go down to your new experiment, open it up, click on the cytometer settings and say paste, and that should change all the parameters. All your voltages will match your previous experiment. If you've got some channels that don't match the previous experiment and you want to look at, you can always review the previous experiments whilst you have this experiment open. If you click on the tube of your current experiment, select parameters, you can see your voltages and your channels. And if you want to go and compare that to previous voltages, whilst the tube is still highlighted, you can open a previous experiment. So just open that one and just click once on cytometer settings. So the previous experiment cytometer settings will appear over here, and your current the settings that you currently are on the left. So you can actually compare and modify these however you want to. Or finally, if you just want to completely replicate a previous experiment, you can open that experiment, right click on and say duplicate without data. Now if you duplicate an experiment, you'll also, if we look on the right hand side, you'll also get all of the worksheets that you had on the previous experiment. One thing to note, you'll generally need to make a new global worksheet, and I'll put that in the next video, how to make a global worksheet. But also, if I right click on one of the tubes, you will note that the compensation has transferred over. Generally it's a good idea to recompensate each time. You can run the old compensation but always check it, but if you want to create a brand new set of compensation controls, you can just click on the first value in compensation, hold down shift, click on the last, that'll highlight everything, and just click clear. Clear the spectral overlap, okay, and the compensation's reset to 0, ready to go for your compensation controls. So that's 4 ways to create a new experiment. Just make sure that we've always got forward scatter height selected, and if you want to do new compensation, make sure you clear the compensation controls.